Especially if it's baddies in the stands, for sure.
Yo, for real?
If it's celebs around the floor, you definitely want to see who it is. And
they sit next to each other there at every game. Lou Williams off the court for doing that. I mean, I'm not sure he could do anything basketball-wise to ever really top that. These two girls were like model hot, and both of them sat at the game.
On the Impulsive podcast, Kevin Durant didn't dodge the question when that Rihanna moment came up. He laughed it off at first, but then got real about what actually runs through his mind when someone like her is sitting just a few feet away courtside. According to Durant, it's not the celebrity status or the attention that throws him off. It's the awareness that everything is visible, every reaction is being watched, and even a quick glance can turn into a storyline online within minutes. He admitted that you try to stay locked into the game, but there's always that split-second recognition of who's sitting there, and then it's straight back to basketball before it becomes a distraction.
When Rihanna walks in, it's hard not to know.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Just all the baddies, bro.
Okay.
Durant's response, as he explained it on the podcast, wasn't some exaggerated confession. It was more of an honest acknowledgement that the human brain doesn't shut off just because you're elite. He described courtside as this constant collision between peak performance and constant stimulation, fans reacting in real time, celebrities pulling attention, phones flashing, and familiar faces sitting close enough that you naturally register them in a split second before snapping back into the possession. And the key point he kept circling back to was discipline, because the difference isn't whether distractions exist, it's how fast you recover from them. In his words, you don't stop seeing things, you just learn not to live in them.
Katie, when celebs come into your game, are you ever distracted by people in the stand?
Durant doesn't hesitate. He leans into the question like someone who's heard every version of it before and strips it down to something simple. You're aware, but you can't afford to be distracted. He basically frames it as a mental switch. Recognition happens in an instant, then it's gone just as fast because the game doesn't pause for anything outside the possession. What sounds wild to fans is, for him, just part of the environment. Noise, faces, energy, all of it existing on the edges of focus, while the only thing that matters is the next play.
I wouldn't say distracted, but I do acknowledge them sometimes, especially if it's baddies in the stands, for sure.
Yo, for real?
If it's celebs around the floor, you definitely want to see who it is.
Durant shuts it down immediately, rejecting the idea that his personal life or relationship status has anything to do with courtside moments or speculation from podcasts, and instead keeps the focus on what he controls, his mindset, his career, and staying locked into basketball despite the constant outside narratives trying to turn normal human reactions into bigger stories than they are.
I wouldn't say I had my heart broken. I started to understand women a little bit more as I got. Well, early on, I understood that like she's not mine. Even if she may be my girlfriend, she might be influenced by other people.
Durant continues by framing it less like a temptation story and more like a focus and maturity issue that comes with experience. After 17 years in the league, he's seen how quickly narratives get exaggerated and how easily outside noise can be mistaken for something deeper than it is. He emphasizes that being a superstar means you're constantly in public spaces, constantly around attention, and the real skill isn't avoiding all of it, but staying mentally locked into what you're actually there to do despite everything happening around.
I enjoy spending time with. It's just not as long as maybe you like to spend time with people, man.
Bro, that
2
one
days for me is cool.
But that one hand won't last.
He leaves the NBA bubble under strict protocols, but what follows becomes one of the most talked about incidents of that entire season. Reports surface that Lou Williams made a stop at a strip club while he was away, which immediately triggers scrutiny because it technically falls under bubble rules and COVID restrictions. Williams later explains that the stop was brief and not the focus of his trip, but the NBA still investigates the situation closely because of how serious the health protocols were at the time. The story spreads fast, turning into a viral talking point that overshadows the emotional reason he initially left the bubble in the first place.
When I got home, I went to the wake. So mind you, we've been living in a hotel. Hotel food. Ain't no special food coming in and out.
Right.
You eating whatever the fuck is on the menu in the hotel until they figured out later on how to start getting food into the bubble. So go to the wake. The wake is a block away from Magic.
He ends up at Magic City, the iconic Atlanta strip club just a block away. And that single detail is what turned a personal leave into a full-blown NBA headline. Even though Lou Williams later insists it wasn't some extended detour, the combination of bubble restrictions and the location made it instantly viral, becoming one of those stories the league had to address directly, while Williams himself tried to separate the narrative from what he says was just a short stop during a difficult personal situation.
So I'm like, yo, I'm a block from Magic. We leave here, I'm gonna go grab something to eat, then I'm gonna go and get out. I get to Magic, mind you, it's 4:30, 5 o'clock in the afternoon.
He walks into Magic City in the middle of the afternoon, grabs food, and ends up crossing paths with rapper Jack Harlow, who takes a photo with him and posts it on Instagram. Within hours, that single image spreads across social media, completely flipping the context of Lou Williams' leave from the NBA bubble into a viral story that the league, the media, and fans all start dissecting, despite Williams maintaining that it was a brief stop during permitted absence.
He walks in, I'm like, yo. He like, yo, let's take a shot. Me and Jack take a shot. So he like, man, you think we could take a picture? He was like, you think it'd be cool we take a picture? I said, I don't see why not. I got my mask on, you got your mask on. Let's take the picture. Take the picture. Don't think nothing of it. Jack go about his business. I go about mine. My food come out. I leave. I go home.
The internet went nuclear. Every major sports show, every media outlet, every debate segment grabbed the story and ran with it. And within hours, Lou Williams wasn't just a role player in the NBA bubble anymore. He was a headline of the entire league for days. But what makes it even more insane is how something that happened during a short, officially approved leave turned into a global controversy that completely drowned out the personal reason he left the bubble in the first place, showing just how fast context disappears once a story hits the internet cycle.
Next morning, my agent called me. He said, we got a problem. I said, what's up? He said, I'll call you. He said, I'll call you back, but L. Frank is about to call you. L. Frank was my GM at the time with the Clippers. L calls me. Hey, man, who the fuck is Jack Harlow? I said, he's my friend, he a rapper. Why, what's the problem? I'll call you back. So he hangs up on me too. So my agent and my GM, they done hung up on me back to back.
Lawrence Frank.
Yeah.
From
Lawrence
Jersey.
Frank.
Yeah,
So I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Open my phone, Twitter is going crazy. Lou Williams sneaks out of the bubble to go to
No suspension, no fine, just a 10-day quarantine, because even the league understood the context of the bubble rules and the situation around his leave. But the way fans remember it is simpler. Lou Williams was just a few blocks away from Magic City, and the pool of familiar spot at 4:35 in the afternoon turned into a story that exploded far beyond what actually happened. Years earlier, though, is where the real legend started, moments that built his reputation long before the bubble incident ever made him a headline.
Adam Silver, he told me, he said, honestly, I don't think you did anything wrong, but I am going to make an example out of you because I don't need these guys to think that they can do this shit.
According to the story shared by Tyler Hansbrough on the *Greenlight* podcast, Lou Williams had a well-known routine during his Toronto Raptors days where two women would regularly sit courtside at games, sitting together as part of his personal life that teammate